This is the LBC leaders' debate, Nick Clegg versus Nigel Farage on the European Union. You're listening on LBC, watching on lbc.co.uk. Take part in the reaction using the hashtag #LBCdebate. And the LBC listeners have been emailing in their questions. Deputy Prime Minister, perhaps I could put this to you from LBC listener Carol Lauderdale. Is it right to have child benefit paid for children not even living in this country?
No, I think that's exactly one of the things that don't make any sense, and one of the many reasons why the government, of which I'm Deputy Prime Minister, why we've changed the rules. So, for instance, no one could just turn up here and claim benefits, no strings attached, no questions asked. We're the first government ever to make sure that you've got to wait at least 3 months before you claim any benefits, that if you've been here for 6 months from elsewhere in the European Union and you haven't found a job, you can't receive job seekers allowance. Housing benefit is no longer going to be provided to people from elsewhere in the European Union. If people come here from elsewhere in the European Union, they can't support themselves.
But
they're not looking for work. They're not looking for work. If they are out on the streets, begging on our streets, and they shouldn't be here, we send them back home. So there are limits, and there are things we can do, but where Nigel Farage and I disagree is that I think that if we simply pull up the drawbridge and refuse to allow people to come here, play by the rule, pay their taxes, create jobs, it'll be bad for Britain. Never mind anyone else, it'll be bad for our country
itself. It's all well and good saying it'd be bad for Britain and putting up drawbridges. What you're not doing with this question, as you didn't with the previous one, is actually to answer it. Because the truth of it is, if you come into this country and take a job, let's say on minimum wage, you qualify on day one for a full range of in-work benefits, including child benefit for your kids living back in Bucharest.
How many people
or whatever it is.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Clegg.
Nigel Farage, how many people from elsewhere in the European Union, in terms of the total number of benefits claimed, do you think, what is the proportion of the benefits claimed by people from elsewhere in the European Union? Tell me what
At the moment, mercifully small.
Well, how small?
Well, I'll tell you. There are only 45,000 children living in parts of Eastern Europe that are currently claiming child benefit.
Let me give the answer.
But I would answer that's 45,000 too many. Surely the benefit system is for citizens of this country,
sure. And let's hear
who've worked and paid in for years.
Briefly. Mr. Clegg.
The answer is, in terms of all benefits claimed, the benefits claimed by people from elsewhere in Europe is 2% of the total. Now, Nigel Farage says 2% is too much. It is 2%. In other words, it is a very, very small proportion of the total. Again, the facts show that people who come here from elsewhere in the European Union to work and pay their taxes pay much more into our coffers than they take out in benefits. In fact, if you look at the 10 years from 2001 to 2011, they contributed close to £22 billion. That helps fund our schools, helps fund our hospitals, helps fund our police, helps fund our military.
I'm sorry,
we mustn't make our country poorer because of the determination by UKIP and others to turn our back on the rest of the world.
I'm sorry, Nick.
A sentence, if you would, Mr.
What that
Farage.
study did was to say who's in work and what tax are they paying. What it did not do was price in the in-work benefits, which is housing benefit, child benefit, tax credits, and child tax credits. And the point is, actually, there's a study by Migration Watch that says from 95 to 2011, in total, immigration into Britain cost us £140 billion sterling.
All right, let's move on to another question. Thank you for that.